a science background to be a trademark attorney or necessarily like a general intellectual property attorney. I don't have a science background. Was a communications major in college. Um, you do have to take the additional bar to be a patent attorney, though. So
Good morning. So I'm coming in a little bit early, so I have time to introduce our guests for today. So good morning to everyone who will be watching this. We'll be posting this on our YouTube channel later if you don't get a chance to tune in today. But I hope you'll join us, that you'll ask some questions. So today we're going to be interviewing attorney Taylor Tiemann. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. And we're going to be talking about how to become a trademark attorney. So this conversation will not be just for pre-law students. It'll be for law students who are also thinking of what they're going to do when they graduate. And also and for those who are coming into law school. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading her bio here. You can also find this one, as she's a past featured Latina. So Taylor is a California licensed attorney whose law practice is centered on helping small businesses and entrepreneurs to protect their brand, products, services, and content. She attended Southwestern Law School in Los Angeles, one of the most diverse law schools in the nation. As a first lawyer in her family, Taylor sought out the supportive community of the Latino Law Students Association in Southwestern, where she eventually was named president. And she's currently a member of the Latina Lawyers Bar Association and focused her attention on mentoring incoming and current Latina law students. Taylor has a background of consumer protection law, but saw that she could better serve her fellow Jefas by sharing her legal knowledge and personal success and struggles. Taylor specifically loves counseling and supporting Latina-owned businesses by sharing her experiences as a fellow Latina business owner. So we'll wait a little while for her to log in because I did start a little bit early today, just a few minutes earlier than usual. There she is, and she's just logged in here, and I'll wave at her. We already got our first few questions, so this looks like will be a very exciting and productive conversation, so I'm really excited. We'll see if we can connect with her right now. Hi, good morning.
morning, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I actually get to talk to you
I know.
one-on-one.
I'm so excited. I have my little like stand thing with my phone up, so I'm trying to get it to stay. Okay.
No problem.
I feel so annoying with this thing. It's like that's a whole other story, but
It's okay. Yeah, I'm so excited to be talking to you. I know that I watch your videos and your lives, and I just enjoy learning from you and seeing your posts. So I'm probably one of your biggest girl fans out there. So
thank
really
you.
like sharing you. Like whenever I have a chance to like talk about you, I'm like, hey, so Taylor.
Gosh, that is so sweet. I love my sweatshirt that I got from you.
Oh,
I've literally it's like one of my weekday outfits. It's like
oh,
one of my
it's really comfortable. Thank you for wearing it.
it is.
Also, so I guess we'll start kind of like where are you calling from so our viewers know where you're calling from. And I read your bio a little bit earlier because I read the one that's on our story from our Future Latina post, but I figure I will give you opportunity to say where you're coming from and anything else that you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I am currently calling from Redondo Beach, California. I'm in Los Angeles. Um, I have a home office, so this quarantine isolation situation has been not as huge of a transition for me versus for some others, but yeah, I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm a business and trademark attorney, and I'm in between my fourth and fifth year of uh, being licensed. So
Oh wow. It does probably seem like a long time ago, right? Like law school seems
I know.
a long time ago.
Like it feels like forever, but then you think about it, like, wow, it's like 4 or 5 years. But because law school is like 3, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
So today I figure it'd be something to kind of learn how you got where you are and what you're doing. We actually got a perfect question here earlier in the morning. So can you become a trademark attorney without a science background? So that's I think a great question because I've met other trademark attorneys who have had a science background, and I've also met those who are don't have one, but they didn't take the patent bar, so it's different
Mhm.
than trademark. So I figure I'll let you kind of talk about that first.
Yeah, you don't have to have a science background to be a trademark attorney or necessarily like a general intellectual property attorney. I don't have a science background. Was a communications major in college. Um, you do have to take the additional bar to be a patent attorney, though, so I can't handle patent anything. Um, but I mean, patent law does, I think, look for and require a certain level of sciency history background. So that would be, I guess, a little bit of a barrier. But for a general trademark, no.
Awesome. So that kind of answers that question for our viewer there, and I think that'll kind of dive us into. I mean, how did you decide to be a trademark attorney? I know that when I came to law school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I kind of had an idea, and I met some other students who really did not know what they were going to do. And so some people also have that misconception that you know what type of attorney you want to become. So I
Mhm.
figure we can talk a little bit about that, and it's a good transition from there.
Yeah, I went when I went to law school. I went to Southwestern Law School in Los Angeles, and they have a pretty good entertainment program. So I always thought I wanted to be an entertainment attorney. So that was kind of the route that I was taking, the classes I was taking, and that was my goal coming out of law school. But I came out of law school and the job market was not fantastic. So I went to work in general, just civil litigation, mostly PI, and then I kind of found my way into consumer protection, which deals with a lot of basically boiled down, we were suing businesses. So then that was not really, I still wasn't super, not happy, but I wasn't necessarily fulfilled in that area. And then right around the same time, I had a couple friends who were starting businesses, and it just kind of aligned perfectly that I was helping them and using, knowledge of how it looked like to sue a business versus, what it is to be a business and protecting what you need to on that side. So that kind of all just fell perfectly in place. And this is this area that I'm in is just I feel like I'm like finally in the right area, but it took me like 4 or 5 years to finally figure it out.
Yeah, I think for a lot of attorneys, it does take some time, but it's beautiful to see when all the opportunities and knowledge fall into something that you enjoy and that you love. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've practiced in so many different types of areas of law, and sometimes you just have to try a bunch to kind of figure out and make sure what you really want to do is maybe like might not be what you end up doing or what you actually like. I had a lot of friends that I talked to before I went to law school that they said, like, go work at a law firm, go see what it's like, make sure that you enjoy it and can handle it and really like it. And I did. So I think it's just really good to just dip your toe in whatever you can, whatever type of experience you can get, and see what you like.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I think having a good variety of what types of experiences, because you may think that you love something, but then once you start doing it and you're getting down to the nitty-gritty of whatever paperwork you have to do, because we do a lot of paperwork. Like once you're an attorney or
So much
you're
paperwork.
in a law firm, lots of paperwork. So if you're enjoying it, you're enjoying the process. I think that's what you can tell if that's a career for you. So
Mhm.
that's a
So
really
much
good.
paper. If you
I
don't like paper, it might be a problem.
Yeah, I bet. But you get to do a lot of your filings online now, right? So that makes it
Yeah,
a little better.
yeah. And I was a legal assistant before law school, and then for about almost a year, and then I clerked throughout law school. So also getting a really good taste of the administrative part of being an attorney, because it is a lot of, like, unless you're at a huge law firm with assistants that do everything for you, like I don't have a full-time assistant doing my paperwork for me. So I'm doing all of my own filings, mailing everything. So that's another whole
Yeah,
part
and
of
you
it.
do
Experience.
so you do so much for our community to providing resources on your Instagram and in your videos and your Facebook group. So I guess that's the next question. How do you balance, this work life? Some people this might be new to them, like you said, switching to working at home. So can you give us some tips? Like, how do you balance, being active online because that's how you interact with your customers and also your new leads. But then how do you balance that work life with doing your actual work, your trademark filings and consultations and all that you do?
If you were to ask my family or boyfriend, they'd tell you I'd work all the time. I'm literally always on my phone. Like I'm always, because I do a lot of things on Instagram and I do a lot of things on Facebook. So I'm always on my phone. I haven't quite managed how to just like put down my phone and stop working, but I do have a pretty set routine at this point. Like I handle social media things in the morning and get everything posted. And then like my best time to function and get work done is right around like between 10 to 2. So I get most of legal work done between then. And then my brain just kind of shuts off between 3 and 5. So that's why I try and do creative things. Or if I need to work on like a marketing aspect of something, I do that during that time. It's also figuring out like when you're most productive. So I just try and batch as much as I can. But there's always random things that pop up, like with this whole pandemic.
Yeah.
I had a lot of clients freaking out about some of their contracts they had. So I had to kind of put my own like marketing plans on hold to make sure everyone was taken care of and things were getting handled.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of changes to a lot of our even contracts. Like I saw that you had a little webinar about a force majeure, and I thought it was really helpful and those type of things that will help a business owner and immediate cases like this. I think that says a lot about your brand and about you, how you're helping a lot of the individuals deal with those things. So that was really great.
Thank
I saw a question come in here. What do you do for any given client, like common practice or procedure?
Like what do I usually handle for clients?
I think that's the question. Yes.
Yeah. Most of my clients are small businesses. All my clients are small business owners. So a majority of what we handle is their contracts, just ongoing contracts that they have, and then also just making sure their intellectual property is protected. So there's a lot of trademark work, copyright registrations if necessary, and then just if they are choosing to form an official entity yet or not, we work on that. Um, yeah, but usually businesses that are already kind of in business or have been doing business for a while, it's a lot of just like routine maintenance with contracts. But a business that's just starting up is going to require certain filings, certain protections in place ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. And someone's asking, is it asset protection as well?
And business assets?
I guess, yeah, I mean, in your situation, it would be business assets and copyrights, correct?
Yeah, it's a lot of it's what like in terms of assets, mostly just protecting their intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
So things that they're creating, or um, just a lot of making sure what they're creating is theirs and stays theirs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do have a couple more questions here for you. I know that I have had some students from California that are taking the bar exam. With everything going on, there's a lot of new dates coming up for the bar from the NCBE. Um, and I have students who are nervous about taking and preparing for it, is there any tips? I know that you took the California bar, that's where you're licensed, and any tips that you can give to those bar takers? Because it's about balancing and how to stay concentrated and motivated while they're studying right now.
I can't even imagine what that situation would look like. And I know it's changing so frequently. Like, I don't like, what is, are they pushing things out? I don't even, I'm not up to date with that. But I would say, I think the best thing that kept me like grounded and not freaking out while taking the bar was just making sure that I exercised, and that it doesn't even have to be exercise, just whatever form of whatever you do that takes your mind completely off of studying. So some people meditate. I'm not a great meditator because I don't know if I have the attention span for it. But when I go exercise, like my brain can only process the exercise. I can't think about what I'm studying. So I mean, I played sports in college, so I have an athletic background, so to speak. But I think that was the only thing that made me feel like I'm taking my brain off of what I'm doing, because you're studying so much and prepping so much and cramming for one exam. Uh, really just take the time you need to, I guess, relax. It's you can't study 24 hours a day, and if you start studying like 15, 16 hours a day the first week, you're gonna realize like that's not, you can't sustain that for the entire time that you're studying. So just find what you need to do to relax, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
so
like
good.
cliche, but
Yeah, I think so. And probably just balancing that time to concentrate. And I know that some people are studying from home and they don't have enough ability to go study somewhere else too. So that can also be stressful for some of our bar takers for this year. So
yeah.
yeah, and I'll kind of leave it open for some people to ask some questions right now. Otherwise, I can do another of my questions that I have written out. And let's see. So, kind of talking about how you ended up becoming a trademark attorney. If we have any pre-law or even I think law students who were considering becoming a trademark attorney, what are some subjects that should maybe look to see if their law school offers, and what can they do right now to kind of explore that path? What are some tips that you can give for them?
Definitely see what your law school does offer. I remember I took all of the entertainment type courses that I could. So I took like trademark, copyright, entertainment laws, entertainment encompasses um, those areas also, and just see, what courses are available. And then also, if, of course, if you can get some sort of clerk experience or internship or anything like that. Um, and then there's also, I just found, and I really want to start taking there's free online courses on Coursera. I think that's what it's called. And uh, they have a lot of really amazing looking courses from really great schools. And I saw they have like Intro to Trademark by some of the like biggest, highest ranking law schools.
Wow.
And they have like law, I guess, classes just for free, and you can totally take those, and that's also probably a great resource. Anything you can access.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up and see if we can share on our YouTube channel, like the link below our video, because I think
Yeah,
some people might, be
I'll,
able
I'll
to.
I'll send you the link. They have like, and I was taking a look at intro to marketing and things like business courses, but they have legal courses also.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. And how do you spell that? Is it course and then ERA?
Yeah, course. Let me see. I gotta spell it out. Coursera. I think just an RA at the end of
Or
course.
A at the end, so Coursera. Okay.
Yeah.
We have some people ask what was the name of the website or the spelling of the website on our comments here. Awesome. And let's see. Um, And I know that you mentioned kind of like what does your day to day look like for I guess those that are working on studying. I know that the situation is a little bit different, that they're studying from home, they're taking classes online. What are some recommendations that you can give somebody that is studying from home while going through law school? Whether they're preparing for exams. I know that some students are finishing up their semester within this week and they're going to start preparing for law school exams. What are some things that worked for you? Some things that maybe not didn't work for you while studying and preparing for them and while handling the stress, everything else?
I know this might not be conducive to us all having to stay at home, but I think you can maybe move around your house if you can. But I read somewhere while I was studying during the bar that the more locations that you can be in, the more your brain takes in information while you're studying. I don't know where I got that information from, but I read it from what seemed to be a credible source. So, sometimes that means like I just go from my office to like my living room. If I find that I can't focus in my office anymore, like don't force yourself to, you know, stay in like one spot if your brain just needs a break and you need to like get up or like maybe like sit outside and study if you need to. I think while I was studying for anything, I was always that person that was like, how are you guys in the library for this long? Like, I cannot sit down for hours and hours on end. I can only do like 2 or 3 blocks of hours at a time. And I think that when you're in law school and when you're prepping for the bar, it's common to like look around and see everyone else just in the library or studying for hours and hours on end, and it kind of freaks you out because you're like, should I be doing that? But just
Mm-hmm.
study or do your work how you feel comfortable, because some of those people, like, they're tiring themselves out, and it might work for some and it might not work for others. So just try not to, I know it's hard, but try not to look around and see what everybody else is doing, because I sort of fell victim to that my first couple months in law school. And I was like, why am I not studying enough? Because I would make sure to take my time to go to the gym, go take a break if I needed to, because I just literally could not work for that long. And I felt like, am I doing something wrong? Like, am I? And I felt like I was gonna fail out the first 2 or 3 months. But just find what works for you.
Yeah, I think that's a really good tip because I remember having to stagger also my subjects and what I was studying on a daily basis. Like like you mentioned, my attention span, I didn't know how small it was until I got to law school, and mainly like I didn't realize that it would be so hard to read some very dense books, especially my first semester, my first year as a law student. So I remember staggering my subjects and so that I could switch back and forth and I wouldn't get so caught up on the stress, and then the what I needed to get done for that day. I could be motivated to follow through and get that finished. So that was just really really helpful for me as a in the way I learned. I was definitely the one with all my pencils that were all, or my highlighters that were all color coded. I don't know if you were the same way, but that was like the way that it helped me remember with colors, and each subject, um,
Mm-hmm.
had their main like folder that matched whatever the book cover would be.
Yeah, you gotta make it fun. Like everything's color coded, then it like, oh, this is my pink subject today. Yeah, I had color coded everything.
Yeah, it was really that was really helpful. Yeah, and just staggering, and when I built my, when I was building like my final outlines, that it was just what helped me the most was writing down what I thought was helpful toward for me to trigger that subject that we discussed in class, for me to remember, um, to help me memorize even by pictures. Like those were the things that I would suggest when we were studying. I think that for anybody who's what's it called? Excuse me. Someone who is a visual learner, because as a visual learner, it's hard to concentrate when you're in class. For me,
Yeah.
it was hard to listen to my professors a lot, so I had to be doing something, and be writing, highlighting, whatever that was.
Mhm.
So that was something I that helped
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of didn't expect for us to go through so fast some of our questions. So I'll kind of leave it to some of our audience. If you guys have questions, please ask. We're kind of organically answer them here within the next few minutes. I know that we're keeping our conversations to 30 minutes. That's kind of what our goal is. Some of our conversations have gone over just because we were discussing a lot of tangents in between. With these things, you just never know where your conversation might lead. I do try to loop it around back, and that we'll concentrate on our topics. But if you guys are watching, make sure that you'll drop a question. Here's someone. Do you know? Oh, do you have any suggestions on how to maybe study? I think that's probably a best question here. That I think, do you know? Uh, sorry. I think that's probably an audience question. Do you know any how to be smart? I think it's how to best study for an exam. Is that a question, or how to best study in law school? Um, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what their question is, but if they're asking how to study, I think every person will have their own way of studying for, because in law school, you do study for an entire semester to take an exam towards the end, but that's probably the best. Uh, that's how most law schools do it. And some schools might have a midterm. I don't know, did your school have a midterm when you, for some classes have midterms?
Oh my gosh, some of them did. Not really in the
Yeah.
first. Oh my gosh, I don't even really remember. Some of like when the classes started to get smaller, sometimes they had midterms, but when it was first year, I could be totally not remembering.
Yeah,
It felt like such a blur.
yeah, I mean, I don't think every class had a midterm. I think for, at least for me, if it was one of those writing courses, where the majority of our grade was just the writing on a subject, then we would have some form of submitting like an outline of what you're going to talk about, what if it was like a legislative course or something like that. But otherwise, I didn't have as often midterms as just like that, preparing for that one final exam that will determine what your semester grade would be. That was very different, and because we didn't have that in college. In college you had all these small little exams or quizzes.
Yeah. So you kind of like know how you're doing.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And then
I don't remember if I'm just like blacking it out or if I just don't remember the first year. Like, and that's another thing. I do remember the first like orientation the first day. They were like, I came home like very scared that I was not going to do well. And I don't know if that's a normal thing. From some of the memes that I've seen online, I think it's a normal thing for law schools to really try and drill into, like, this is going to be hard. So I was really freaked out my entire first year. But sometimes that fear is good. You can use it to, make sure that you are working hard. But yeah, I remember, but I think that's normal for law schools to do that.
yeah.
So, but I didn't know. I don't have like any lawyers in my family. Nobody told me like that was gonna happen. So I just came home and I was very quiet. My mom's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Nothing."
Yeah, I think I had the same experience. I came home and I was trying to be optimistic. So all I did was like, "How did it go?" It's like, "Great."
I'm fine.
Yeah, same here. Like I didn't have any lawyers in my family either, or anyone that could tell me, how does this work, and especially just even through the application process. Finally, you get there and you expect something, and it's completely different from what I expect, and it's definitely a very intimidating experience the first time that first semester, that first orientation day. So I do see a question here. As a trademark attorney, do you feel like a businesswoman more often than an attorney? That's an interesting question.
It's really about well, the business part is new to me. So I've never owned a business before. So my brain, my free time is consumed by how do I present myself? How do I market my services? Because that's brand new to me. So I feel like I am consumed with that like 75% of the time. But I'm doing legal work every day, and then in my free time I'm figuring out the business aspect, because I mean it's just me. I don't have anybody helping me. So it's definitely both. I feel like it's a lot of business learning curve. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think now in some schools, they at least in my school, they were trying to implement how to become a business owner, because a lot of attorneys are starting their own firms too. So that is a learning curve. I mean, I don't have a law firm. I'm not an attorney, but it helps me just learning every day through how to grow your business and how to be present in the social world, but also keeping, track of all your invoices, keeping track of whatever uh, client that you sign up or anything like that. So
Yeah.
that was a learning curve, even just for me. Not doing law, I'm imagining that you want to do your legal work, but you also have to be your own HR, or your
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
yeah, is your own boss at the same time. So,
I,
and I think
I
so.
took a course in law school. It was basically how to run your own firm or how to open your own firm. And at the time, I never wanted to own my own firm. I never wanted to open my own practice. That was just not something I wanted to do. So I took the course, I think, just to kind of like see what it was like. And all I remember was doing like a budget sheet and some sort of business plan. But my heart wasn't in it because I didn't plan on doing that. But now I'm like, I wish I could go back and take that class again because it would have been really helpful. But some law schools do offer courses and classes, to take to learn how to run your own business. It's
Yeah.
like they they offer it, and if you have the chance to take it, I would take it, even if you think you're never going to run your own firm, because it also shows you the admin part too, which is important.
Yeah, looking back, I wish I would have taken it too, because like you said, you never know, if you're going to own your own firm, if you decide that it's best for you to work from home, or have your own company in the end. So, well, I think that's all the questions we have. We kind of have been gone a little bit over 30 minutes today, but thank you so much, Taylor, for joining us and
Thanks for
discussing a little
having me.
bit. It was so nice to finally meet you, even by
I
video.
know, I know. We message all the time, but now we're
Yeah.
face to face.
Yeah, I hope that we'll be able to meet each other and this summer. Hopefully, we'll go to that summit, and it'll still happen with
I
everything going
know, I
on.
know. I'm hoping it will. I'm keeping posted with that.
Yeah, thank you, Taylor. And so now I'll just remind you guys to please come visit with us tomorrow at 9 a.m. for our next guest, which is coming from England. She'll be calling in. We'll be talking about the UK versus the US law school systems, and if you ever considered going abroad to study law or moving to different European area union
That's
area. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Thank you, Taylor, so much. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. You too. Stay safe and healthy.
Stay safe. Bye.